Let's take a look. Nick Sortor posted this, and one of Anthony Fauci's advisors has been indicted for his role in the cover-up. Well, the conspiracy to convince people that COVID-19 virus didn't come out of the Wuhan lab, because that would have connected everything to Anthony Fauci and the gain of function, so they didn't want people to know about that. David Morens and his co-conspirators falsified records to suppress the lab leak theory. Well, let's take a look.
The Justice Department has charged David Morens, a doctor, with conspiracy, claiming he concealed federal records to counter evidence that COVID-19 may have leaked from a lab in China. The Justice Department says Morens used his personal Gmail account to exchange non-public information. The indictment also claims an unnamed co-conspirator gave Morens wine for his, quote, behind-the-scenes shenanigans, then suggested he could push scientific commentary in a prominent medical journal advocating that COVID-19 had natural origins. That's a competing claim with the lab leak theory. The indictment says the co-conspirator could also provide meals at top restaurants in Paris, New York, and Washington, D.C. In April 2020, the NIH terminated that bat coronavirus grant awarded to EcoHealth Alliance, who then contracted the Wuhan Institute of Virology to conduct that research in China. From the start of the pandemic, its president, Peter Daszak, worked to discredit any theory that COVID-19 had leaked from that lab.
So CBS News here, ex-advisor at Fauci's NIAID indicted for allegedly attempting to hide records during the pandemic. Well, let's see, David Morens, 78, was indicted by a federal grand jury earlier this month and charged with 5 counts, including conspiracy, destruction of records in federal investigations, and concealment of records. He made his initial appearance before a federal magistrate judge Monday and is set to be arraigned next week. So 5 counts, including conspiracy. Well, who's a conspiracy theorist now, huh? CNN? Morens served as a senior advisor to NIAID's Office of the Director from 2006 through 2022. Do you remember all of this? Here's CNN Health. Lab leak COVID-19 theory is like something out of a comic book, virologist says. March 31st, 2021. Remember all of this? There was a big effort to convince everybody that, it had nothing to do with that bat virus lab in Wuhan that's studying exactly this stuff. Yeah, anyway. So this guy served as senior advisor to NIAID's Office of the Director from 2006 through 2022. Dr. Anthony Fauci led the institute for nearly 40 years. So that was Fauci, advisor to Fauci. Prosecutors allege that Morens and 2 unnamed, unindicted co-conspirators worked together to defraud the U.S. by shielding federal records related to the pandemic from the public. The first co-conspirator, identified as co-conspirator 1, served as the president and CEO of a New York-based nonprofit group that received a grant in 2014 titled Understanding the Risk. I mean, you can't make it up. The risk of bat coronavirus emergence. So, shielding federal records related to the pandemic from the public. So it was really people like, I don't know, CNN that should have been digging into this stuff. Instead, we just got this. You're a conspiracy theorist. This is like something out of a comic book. That's what people got. And they wonder why mainstream media is dying. The Wuhan Institute of Virology in Wuhan, China, received a sub-award from the New York Organization on the Coronavirus Grant. Prosecutor said emails released in 2024 by the Republican-led Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic indicate that the New York-based organization is the EcoHealth Alliance, and co-conspirator 1 is its president, Peter Daszak. Remember that name. All right, now, Anthony Fauci. Fauci denies, this is from June 3rd, 2024. Fauci denies suppressing COVID lab leak theory before U.S. House panel. So we know that they were exchanging emails back and forth. He was advising people like Morens to deny lab leak to protect himself because they were funding. They were funding that lab in Wuhan. We know all of that now, right? Did I have something in here? The committee set up to discover the origins of the virus has uncovered emails showing top NIH officials trying to hide public records by evading Freedom of Information Act requests, or like as that guy said, making emails disappear. The private emails suggest some officials, including a longtime Fauci advisor and aide, deleted correspondence and used private emails to get around public record laws. Public record laws. Fauci downplayed how closely he worked with the advisor, David Morens, saying he was unsure if Morens even reported to him directly and that their offices were in different buildings. I mean, what a dishonest man. I mean, just shameless. Denied ever using a private email address to discuss government business, Morens had told the subcommittee he may have sent emails discussing government business to Fauci's personal email address. I wonder if he did. I guess that's where, let's see, this pardon, executive grant of clemency, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, for Anthony Fauci, Dr. Anthony S. Fauci. So I guess this really does come in handy for somebody like Fauci, who's just guilty, right? Just guilty. But he's got this, so he's all right. What do we have here? So here's from a Committee on Oversight. Hearing wrap up, Dr. Fauci held publicly accountable by select subcommittee. Let's see. Dr. Fauci confirmed that his senior advisor, Dr. David Morens, violated official NIH policies and potentially broke federal law. This was from June 4th, 2024. Let's see. Unlawfully deleted federal COVID-19 records. I mean, that's super illegal, right? And shared non-public information about National Institutes of Health grant processes with his best friend, EcoHealth Alliance Incorporated, EcoHealth President, Dr. Peter Daszak. His name keeps popping up too. Dr. Fauci maintained his misleading claim that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China. In 2021, he told Rand Paul that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. During yesterday's hearing, Dr. Fauci doubled down on his previous claim by stating the NIH did not fund gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Former acting NIH director Dr. Lawrence Tabak told the Select Committee recently that the NIH did, in fact, gain-of-function research in Wuhan. Yeah, you've never seen anybody as slippery as Fauci was in that. Dr. Fauci agreed with the select subcommittee that EcoHealth and its president, Dr. Peter Daszak, should never again receive a single cent from the U.S. taxpayer. So it wasn't all above board. Then let's see. Dr. Fauci corrected his previous testimony that his staff did not possess conflicts of interest. During yesterday's hearing, he changed his tune, testifying that Dr. Morens definitely had a conflict of interest. Dr. Fauci publicly acknowledged that the lab leak hypothesis was possible and not a conspiracy theory. This comes nearly 4 years after prompting the publication of the now infamous proximal origin paper that attempted to vilify and disprove the lab leak hypothesis because of his connections to it, obviously. All right, so David Morens does not have a pardon from Biden. A lot of people were like kicked off social media, people who were relying on that income to live. A lot of people for saying things like, hey, what about this lab down in Wuhan there where they're studying the bat coronaviruses? I mean, it seems like kind of a coincidence, right? A lot of people were punished, seriously punished for that, just for saying, hey, this looks totally plausible. So it's taken a long time, but we'll find out what happens with this. Probably nobody will be satisfied with it in the end. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.